Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. Our guest host today is Ajia Holiday, and our guest is Paul Freed. Paul, how in the world are you?
Hey, well, listen, great to see both of you. And yeah, listen, I'm good. I'm good, man. Things are all right. We spent some time together in Vegas. Uh, kind
We
of
had a
brought
good
you up to
time in
speed.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a good show.
I
Certainly
had as good a
great.
time. We used to have even better times. I mean, it's different, but we don't need to go there. I'm sorry. Let's
Yeah,
change the subject. It was
yeah,
fun hanging out there. I hadn't seen you in a long time in person, Paul. That was fun.
yeah. It was nice, and I'll tell you, I reconnected with so many people, and it was really great. I mean, there's just so many good people within the industry, and yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, glad I went and looking forward to going again for sure.
And Aja, thank you for pitch hitting today for Liz. She's on special assignment today. So
Special
Oh, there we
assignment.
go.
Wow. All right.
Special assignment. Always happy to help out. So yeah, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? I'll talk about a million things, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about was kind of leveraging your revenue um, from your cleaning business to diversify and get into other businesses, right? Um, there's always that talk about VCs maybe out there looking to acquire cleaning businesses or home service businesses,
And
and
VCs being venture capital, right?
correct, yeah,
Okay.
sorry,
Sorry. I'm catching up.
no worries, and and I know that to be true because we get solicited a couple times a month. Um, but if you're not doing $10 million in sales, they really don't want to talk to you. And there's not a whole lot of residential cleaning businesses that are doing $10 million. So in thinking about that, and then kind of going back and thinking about the entrepreneur, right? And I know, like for me, um, I love building businesses. I don't, I don't, I don't want. I don't know that I love staying in one business or one industry for too long, right?
yeah. Well, you've got a lot of different brands behind you, which I guess is kind of an example of, you know,
Yeah,
you're you're
yeah.
you're, you're focusing on multiple things here.
Right. So we've got the commercial cleanings, we've got the office cleaning business, we've got Made in Hoboken, of course. We've got a small real estate investment business that we're involved in. We've got bargain maids, and then we've got another business called I Made the Arrangements. I talked to you a little bit about that when
Yeah,
we were out
yeah,
in
it's a
Vegas.
software product.
So this is a website that we're developing, which is actually ready to go live, and that's pretty exciting. But so and I think a lot of entrepreneurs are the same way, right? They not that they get tired, but it's like, okay, kind of been there, done that. Let's move on. Let's look at something else. Um, I my grandfather. So this is my mom's dad. He was in the deli business, right? So Jewish delis. Now he was an innovator for sure and quite the entrepreneur. He could open up a business and not really knock it out of the park, but he couldn't run the business, right? If he would just open them, sell them, move on, he would have made a fortune. But instead, he just kind of ran these things into the ground and just started again and again and again. Um, and I know a lot of people like that. Um, the cleaning business, I never, and I've shared this with you, Tom, over the years. I never anticipated being in the cleaning business as long as I've been.
You've been in the cleaning business a lot longer than you thought you would be.
Yeah, I mean, this is 13 years, and my plan was build this thing as big as I could, as quick as I could, sell for as much as I could, move on. But I've been having a blast with it. It's been great.
So,
We have a great staff.
yeah, what makes it different though? I mean, something it's feeding some value to you that you didn't anticipate. What makes house cleaning different than the other businesses that you've built and sold?
Well, I think that one is the business model itself, right? Just recurring revenue. And it's interesting because I came from a different world. I came from a world of real estate development, construction. It was glamorous, and the but this is not much different. The business model is not much different than owning rental properties, right? It's that same recurring revenue model. I like this a little better because you're getting money every day as opposed to once a month. And again, it's volume, right? Like, we're pretty fortunate. We're in a densely populated area. Most of these people do not want to clean their own homes. So, and we've positioned ourselves to be, one of the highest rated cleaning services in the country. I'm sorry, in the county. So, it's the staff. We have a ton of fun. The staff's in the back now celebrating a birthday, right? So they've got the balloons going, they've got the cake, they're playing dominoes, they're gambling, they're doing their thing. And it's a good time. So yeah, I mean, and the truth is, the way we're set up now, it doesn't require a ton of my time. I mean, I've kind of stepped out of it, certainly over the last year, where I've been working on this website that I'm building. But still keeping a close eye on things, right? Like, my staff wants to see me. They want to see me as much as possible. So I'm certainly here in the morning for the morning meetings. And again, the way we're set up, staff comes in, everybody's here in the office in the morning. So we have a little team huddle, a pep talk. Everybody kind of goes out, does their thing. So I'm still the face of the company, but there's other people that are kind of running the show, giving me an opportunity to kind of go do whatever else I may want. And again, you talk about, there's a lot of talk about being this kind of absentee owner. And for me, I don't want to be completely absent. Could my business run without me? For sure. What direction do I want to run?
Would it grow?
Right. So, I'm involved when I need to be. And it's still my baby. So, I do love it.
I mean, it's only 13 years old. It's just a teenager.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
But you were talking about venture capital, private equity earlier, and 10 million top line, revenue. And I know you recast earnings. They use the term EBITDA, which is, I guess, the tax adjusted benefit that you pull out of the business they talk about. Where are you going with that, Paul? I mean, I've been in the cleaning business a little longer than you have. And, back in the day, you wouldn't, you just clean homes. And if you were going to sell your business, you were going to sell it to either another cleaning business, or you were going to sell it to somebody who wants to leave their corporate job and take a second mortgage on their house and maybe cash in their 401k and buy a house cleaning business. This, there's a lot of other stuff going on out there now.
Yeah. And look, I think, again, because of that, because of the business model, because of that recurring revenue, I think it becomes very attractive to investors, right? So, for me, what I think about is I think about kind of, leveraging the revenue from the cleaning business to kind of diversify and get into other businesses. I'm doing that currently with the website. I do it with the real estate business. When I look at, you can, we have some mutual friends, right? You look at Trisha Lake she opened a boutique. I think that's awesome, right? Caleb Pierce, they got into pest control, which is awesome, right? So And look, if you can kind of branch off into a business where you already have a foot in the door, literally, right? Pest control is great, right? Um, I with this with this website that I've been developing, and and again, this is a kind of a revolutionary website now where people can kind of go in, they can make their own funeral arrangements. And it's really morphed into much more. It's really kind of about legacy building. Um, the site's got some unbelievable features that are really, really awesome. And we're the site is done. We're just tweaking it, and I decided to add a couple of
just
other
the
features.
idea of it, because it's all stuff that sooner or later everybody has to do, but nobody wants to do.
Right.
And you're making it easier. And where, well, I'm thinking about my parents, you might be able to
Sure.
think about yours. It was a time when it would have wish you'd have done that 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's so the site, just some of the features real quick. So you go in, there's a funeral planner. So you'll go in, you fill out a questionnaire, and then once you're done with the questionnaire, you'll get emailed back a PDF of the document. So now you've got this document that outlines your funeral. You can give that to your loved ones, to an attorney, to a funeral director, whatever it is, and then you can go in and for me, this is all about really kind of your final wishes. So the questionnaire we've labeled the wish capture. One of the things that you would do is you would assign a wish keeper, think along the lines of an executor. So this wish keeper will have partial access to your account, right? They have limited access to your account while you're alive. Their key role is to enter the date you pass away. Once they enter the date you pass away, that'll trigger other features. So you can add as many contacts as you'd like into your profile. You can create a notification of passing. So once that wish keeper enters that date of passing, all of your contacts will get notified that you passed away. And you can personalize that however you'd like. There's an area where you can securely store all of your account information so that your family, your survivors, loved ones know exactly what's what, right? Anywhere from social media accounts to bank accounts to whatever it is, streaming accounts, right here, close it all down. You can set up emails to go out posthumously, right? Maybe you want to send birthday wishes to your children. Maybe you've been carrying around some secret your whole life. You want to unload, you can set that up to go out like X amount of days after you pass away. And then ultimately you end up with kind of an online legacy that will be out there now forever. But one of the other features that we're adding now is we're adding a will builder and an advanced directive builder.
This is a unique project. I can tell you're passionate about it. What's your inspiration?
It's interesting. There are a couple of things that kind of transpired over the last couple of years, right? So my father was a Holocaust survivor. So last January, my cousin and I went to Poland and visited Auschwitz and a few other camps that our parents were imprisoned at. It was the 79th anniversary of the liberation of the camp, so they had a ceremony, and we took part in that. It was just an incredibly moving experience for me, and just kind of walking through some of these places, right? And you can read about it, but when you're kind of standing there and you're walking through the gas chambers, you're standing at the mouth of these ovens and standing at the base of these chimneys where these lives were just incinerated and just turned into ash. And then walking through buildings where there's just walls of kind of anonymous faces, right? So these, just 8.5 by 11 photos. And, I couldn't help but think about what their end of life was, right? And, did they have any plans? You start thinking about legacy. These are people that were just turned into numbers and turned into ash. And I just felt like I needed to do something for me to preserve legacy, things like that.
Sure.
So the wheels just started spinning, and this thing just kind of evolved. And it's been an incredible experience. I mean, just look, you've heard about the power of expressing yourself and talking and getting out, right? You've got a problem, talk it out. Let's get it out. This is a topic that is just taboo, and people don't want to talk about it. It's very interesting, though, how it's becoming more mainstream, right? This area of technology is what they've labeled death tech, and they're anticipating death tech to become a $200 billion industry by the year 2030.
Wow.
And for me, I've always, I always, like, I love the market disruptors, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at Uber and what Uber did to like the cab business, right? Just turned it upside down. If you're familiar with Turo, Turo's doing the same thing now with the car rental industry. Think about wills. We've been convinced now by attorneys for decades and decades that a will is a very detailed legal document, and you need an attorney to help you with this, and it's going to cost you a couple $1,000. Well, and trust and will comes along and says, well, that's not true. You can get a will for $200, right? So now you can go online and get a will for $200. Well, now guess what? AI has disrupted that market, and they're saying, hey, log into ChatGPT, we'll give you a will for free. Right? So it's interesting where you've got a company like Trust and Will that has a current valuation of $200 million. It's about to dissolve, right? It's just going to fall apart. So kind of thinking about that, and that's why I decided that look, people are offering up free wills everywhere. So we added that to the site now, and we should have that up in about 2 weeks, and then we'll go live. But it's been exciting, and I'll tell you, it's the cleaning business assists with this in that I'm dumping a lot of money into this website, but the money's coming in from the cleaning business, so it's like it doesn't affect my lifestyle one bit, and I get to create a new business and have a lot of fun doing it. So
that's
awesome.
a cool thing about the house cleaning business. That doesn't have to be your final act. You can, like you're doing. I mean, you were saying we know a ton of people that have started multiple businesses.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, this Made Central thing that we're doing.
Weird.
Yeah.
And I get 3 calls a day from somebody wanting to loan us money or make an investment or whatever, and it's like we don't need your money. We're okay, and that's because of the house cleaning business.
Yeah. And look, it's like a lot of times we get kind of pigeonholed, and we're not having a hard time seeing the forest through the trees, right? But again, if your business is generating revenue and you're profitable, there's money out there. You can borrow money against your cleaning business and against that revenue stream. Certainly if you have a relationship with a bank where you've been doing your banking for 5 years, 10 years, the bank knows you. They know what kind of money you're bringing in. The SBA, there's a ton of money out there. So listen, and look, the entrepreneur mind is always just going. So why not? Why not diversify a little bit?
Makes things fun.
Yeah, and look, and there's it's interesting because through the website and all this research, and I sent you over a document on what they call Swedish death cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all, or if you've heard about
Yeah.
this, but
Mhm.
this is becoming a thing, and and it's not it's not kind of cleaning per se. It's
Explain, yeah,
really
explain to us, explain to all of us
Yeah.
what that is.
so Swedish death cleaning is obviously that comes from Sweden, and this is all about kind of purging on your way out, right? The you had asked about the website and kind of what brought that on, and when I think about funeral planning, um, listen, we die, and within a very short period of time, our loved ones have to put together this end of life ceremony, right? Now, you've got a 24 to 48 hour window to kind of do this, right? And you have to do it while you're grieving, right? You're completely distraught. And now it's like, whoa. And that's where some of these features came in, right? Like creating your own notification of passing. How many times you run into somebody and they talk about the passing of a mutual friend, and like, wow, I wish I would have known. I would have loved to attend the funeral. Well, it's not like anybody kind of dissed you intentionally. It's like, you had this family that's freaking out, just trying to kind of figure all this out while they're completely distraught. So, it's all about the pre-planning.
But with your program, they can like they'll get an email or maybe a
Right.
text or
Yeah. So the notification of passing will
what?
go out as an email, and
Okay.
everybody will be notified. But again, it's like making the preparations prior to, right? And we've all experienced.
Does the email come from the deceased's email account?
No, so it comes from
Okay.
I may be
That'd be a bit
arranged.
weird. Hey, you're getting this email. I'm letting you know I'm dead.
Right. Well, it's it's I was kind of, and it's interesting because I was kind of playing around with like all the features, right? So I had created a separate account as my own wish keeper. So I had come in and I entered the date of passing, and of course, what I didn't realize is that I had this email triggered to go out. Now all of a sudden, I get a call from my daughter. She's like, "What the hell
Wow.
are you doing?" She gets the email. I pass away. She's like, "What?"
Oh no.
Yeah. So anyway, but so again, kind of getting ready for the inevitable, right? And that's really what the Swedish death cleaning is about. It's much more than organizing. It's much more than cleaning, right? It's about kind of purging, and it just ties in with the cleaning industry, right? I mean, this is a service that um, any cleaning business owner could get into. And the thing I like about it is that it's very newsworthy, right? You didn't get a bunch of good PR out of something like this. Again, a topic that is going to kind of impact everyone at some point. And a lot of us have experienced this where parents pass away and you go in and it's like you've got a house packed with stuff that you've got to try to figure all this out. What am I going to do with all this?
But the Swedish death cleansing or cleaning is what one does before they die, right?
Right. So you would go in, as the contractor.
Do you market it as such? I mean, I've experienced this before where older people start getting rid of they try to give it to their children or give it to younger
Yes,
people.
that's
Yep.
They're not
my
throwing
grandma's
it
been
away.
Swedish death cleaning for about 10 years, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of it.
But branding it as that is something, it's like you gotta as you need to talk to your folks and say, you know what you're doing here.
I know.
Right.
I really do. Every time she visits, she comes with a bag of things, and it's not a bag of new things. It's just a bag of things from her house.
Right.
I don't need. I won't. If I haven't needed it by now, I'm not gonna need it. But you might need it one day. Here.
But you might need it. Yeah. It's But yeah, I love the idea of Swedish death cleaning in terms of just like, especially downsizing and organizing. I've got elderly grandparents now, and they've both, gained lots of things
Yeah.
over the years. And one
Yeah.
in particular, it's just she's very eclectic and loves to grab all the eclectic items all the time, and has a decently sized home. And the idea of, well, one, her passing is heartbreaking, but also trying to go through the whole home all at once is just,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, and look, and there's look, if you go in, I know. Look, when my parents passed away, and we kind of went in. It was after my dad passed away about 20 years ago. My mom passed away, 10 years, and kind of going into the home, and then it's like you've got these things. It's like you don't know what to do with them, right? Like it's like wow, like this really meant something to her. Like you feel bad about throwing it away. You don't want like what do you do, right? And it becomes a real hassle. And it's a burden on the survivors. So, if you can do that now with these people as they're still alive, right? They can kind of point you in the right direction. Like, yeah, that really doesn't mean that much to me. You can go ahead and get rid of that, or let's get rid of it, or let's donate it.
Are you providing this service?
So we're working on that now. We're putting
Okay.
together, and and I don't know in our marketplace, like what kind of business we'll actually get. But again, I think that look, as you know, right, you want to try to refresh your business every so often, right? Add some new features, right? Make it fresh, newsworthy, current. And I think it's a great topic, right?
You can definitely get a lot of PR out of that.
Yeah, influencers will eat this up. I think the local news will eat this up.
Do you market it as death cleanse? It's like, well, it's like I'm gonna get that for my mom. I mean, that could be.
And again, it's about helping people declutter and organize their homes, right?
Okay, so you're not gonna call it death cleanse.
Well, I think we will because this is what it's labeled, and it's
Okay.
easy enough for people to just kind of Google Swedish death cleaning and kind of understand what it is. And again, I think it's something that it's going to be quite eye catching, right? Like what?
Yeah, well,
Right?
it
Somebody's going to want to know
absolutely-
like what this is, and it goes,
Is that a feature you're gonna put on your website?
yeah, for sure.
Move in, move out.
Bi-weekly death cleaning. So, but again, I think that, and again, it's more than just kind of the stuff. It's like understanding all the documents, right? Like where is everything, right? Like just trying to kind of again get everything prepared. And us, look in America, we as a society, we hide from this. We don't talk about it, right?
Mhm.
You think about death. If I asked you, give me an image of death. Right, like most people are going to like Grim Reaper, right? It's like this dark kind of hooded caricature coming after you with a sickle. When in fact, if you talk to people that have been revived from the dead and brought back, right? Like there's this commonality where they talk about this bright light, right? Like they saw this bright light, but yet everything that we're taught about this is dark, right? Funeral attire. What do you like? Black. Like wear black. And in our questionnaire, we get that personal. Like, what would you like people to wear? Right? Like, I want people to wear bright colors. Right? Like, be happy. Like let's celebrate the life as opposed to mourn the loss. But again, I think that it's and you've got the document I sent over. We can you can share that, and I think it's just a great add-on for what we do as house cleaners.
It is definitely unique. I don't think I know anyone in the industry that is pursuing this at the moment, but
No, nor do I.
You definitely could get some local media attention, and I could see that being really valuable. And who knows, there might be more of a demand. Hoboken is more of a younger demo, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, so for me, it's really just about, kind of blasting out this new service, just getting a little buzz about the company, just kind of getting the name out there again. Not so, I'm not expecting to do a whole lot of business with it, not in our marketplace, but certainly in the suburbs. And again, it's becoming a thing. And, the more I kind of learn about, again, this kind of whole death tech industry, and where it's going, there's a ton of influencers out there now, morticians, right? It's like you can kind of follow them and they talk about what they're doing. And, some will even kind of walk you through an autopsy. I mean, it's crazy.
I follow a few.
Do you?
I do.
Listen, it's pretty interesting. And again, look, this is something that, we're all going to deal with at one point or another, right?
So you also refer to this as a legacy lighten up.
A legacy lighten up.
Yeah, I'm reading. You sent me some information earlier about
Yep.
thoughtfully declutter, organize, and simplify.
Yep.
I like that. That's a lighter side. Lighten up is probably feels better than death.
For sure.
Yeah.
And look, and again, right? Like sharing your legacy, right? And again, you've got all these different, you've got these things, the stuff that you've acquired your whole life, right? It shouldn't end up in a landfill, right? So, this is all part of that service where, you're going to identify, this stuff and give it to, people that are going to hang on to it a little bit. Right?
Okay.
And a better system than the sticky note system that my family uses. That's how we claim.
That's what a lot of people are doing. Yep.
Sticky note claim system.
And again, and this is something that people start early. I mean, they do. There's people that are doing it. They're 65, they're retiring. Now it's like, okay, like I've got all this stuff. What am I going to do with it? And the service that we would provide as cleaning business owners or as Swedish death cleaners, right? And again, you can call this whatever you want. But you're offering some companionship as well, right? So you could bill out. If we were to do it, we would bill out at somewhere around $70 an hour, and I don't think that people would balk at that.
And I guess there's a lot of ways you can go about it. From a practical standpoint, I think it's hard for people just to, okay, this is what we're going to do today. It's a process. You have to, I can see doing it where it's a series over the course of a few months.
And that's what it is. It could even be a few years. Yeah. You would block out periods of time, 4 hours at a clip, I think. And, could be a monthly thing, could be a quarterly thing. Yeah. One of the things that I did over the course of last year, and again, just because of this kind of new industry that I'm getting involved in, I got certified as an end-of-life doula. Now, familiar with birth doulas, obviously, right? And when you start talking about
retirement plan.
Oh, there you go. So when you start talking about like a death doula, it's
you can diversify, Ajia. You can play both ends of the spectrum.
You know? Didn't even know. Yeah. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So but you think about like a death doula. It's like whoa, and you'd be amazed at how many organizations there are out there that do this kind of work. It's really amazing. So if you're going to, as a cleaning business owner, introduce this as a service, the thing to do is to reach out to some of these death doula or end of life doula agencies.
And is this different than, say, hospice? This isn't necessarily working with people that are, terminally ill, or is it?
It is.
Okay.
And, more from we'll call it like a social perspective than a medical perspective, right?
Okay.
Um, and, it's interesting because, one of the things that these doulas look to do with and they're there to provide comfort to the family, comfort to the dying, right? But one of the things that they look to do with their client, with the dying, is end of life projects, right? And of course, depending on the condition of the dying, that end of life project could be could be walking through a site like I made the arrangements, or it could be kind of purging and cleansing and getting rid of some of their possessions and helping them along those ways. So, these end of life doula agencies would be a great place to go and kind of collaborate for business if somebody were looking to do this kind of work.
Okay.
But again, even the influencers, there's so many of them out there. So,
Yeah, it's very possibly an untapped opportunity. I never even heard of an end of life doula.
yeah, I listen, and nor did I till kind of started getting involved in this new industry and doing some research. But it's amazing, it really is. And again, look, there's other countries that handle this much differently. For whatever reason, we've been kind of just brainwashed that you just don't talk about this. I know if I ever wanted to, and in thinking about the website, it was like, did I think, well, there's going to be a bunch of 90-year-olds that are going to sign up for this? No. But I thought maybe like the baby boomers, and they'd sit with their parents and kind of walk them through, and what comfort there could be in knowing that all of your wishes were met before you passed on, and what relief that would give to the family, right? And again, it was like, for me, it's like, allowing your family to mourn and grieve as they really should, as opposed to
Mhm.
worrying about like what casket, where are you going to be buried? Do you want flowers? Do you not? Right? Like, so.
Yeah. And it's grandpa's birthday. What are you going to get him? He's got everything. Well, wait a minute. We can get him a subscription to.
Yeah, or look, we can get him a companion to come in and help him purge,
Yeah.
kind of, clean out the stuff so that, we don't have to. I mean, listen, there's horror stories out there about, siblings and the infighting and, like, your weekend now, you got to go and you got to clean out dad's garage. And it's like, oh God, like, and it's like, no, don't throw that out. No, don't throw that. No, don't. It's like, what? So, and
So
and the truth is, it's like it's your stuff. Take care of it before you go.
I mean, I also really like the idea of it being combined with, cleaning service as well, just because I think of some of the homes that I've cleaned as a cleaner for people who had recently passed,
Right.
and they were not being well kept up with in just the cleaning aspect, much less a cluttering aspect. So it's like, the idea of not only having somebody to come in and help you declutter and potentially listen to your stories about these items that have memory, but also, you know, potentially help in a better living situation. And I think that's what I really love about this industry as a whole is just um the level of impact we can have on people's just mental well-being. Um and whether it's cleaning, decluttering, that mental well-being space that we can really impact is just it's so huge.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that you've connected this to end of life services as well. I just incredible connection.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's neat, and and again, I think it's listen, it's kind of cutting edge, right? And uh, again, I do think in a lot of marketplaces, there would be a demand, and there would be a lot of interest from media sources. I really do.
And
I-
your demo and your market might skew a little bit to the younger side, but they've got parents and grandparents and they get the technology. So this really could be an awesome fit.
And if you're working, listen, if you're working in 4 hour clips or 8 hour clips, listen, you can, Tom, you know how spoiled we are with our 2 mile radius.
Yeah.
Listen, if I could dedicate somebody for a day, I don't mind driving more, right?
Mhm.
So you can branch out, as opposed to your cleaning service where maybe you're working a 10 mile radius, 12 mile radius. You can go out 25 miles.
yeah.
And the story you could tell, the PR, the branding, this could go so many different ways.
Yeah, yeah. And again, people are, people are out there. They're making the plans now. It's not like it was. It's interesting. It's like, the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers, like they're so into all of this now. So they would talk to their parents about it.
Yeah.
And kind of push them to do these things. So yeah, it's neat.
Paul, there was something else that you shared with us earlier that I think is interesting. We're shifting gears a little bit, but you're so creative in coming up with different ways to market and promote your business. And it's a membership program. Is that something that you guys have
Yeah.
put into?
Yeah, this is something I've been kind of toying with, and I've talked to a couple of other business owners, and I don't know if anybody's really doing it or has implemented it yet. But again, right? You think about subscription models, right? And look, you know it through the software. You know, so he came up with a membership program, and like some of the bullet points that I had listed. One of the things, and really one of the things that kind of pushed me towards this was the cancellations, right? Like we get hit over the weekend, right? We get most of our cancellations on Mondays, right? So the email reminder will go out 2 days before. So the email reminder for Monday goes out Saturday, and then over the course of the weekend, there's a bunch of emails. Hey, let's push back a week, or let's so what we try to do is we try to overbook Monday, right? Because we know there's going to be a ton of these cancellations coming in, and we do have a cancellation policy, and we enforce that. And we have some people that just they don't care. Like they'll cancel the same day and they'll pay us $100, and it's like, okay, and they'll do it over and over and over and over. It's like, but I don't. Well, I was going to say I don't want that money, but I do want that money. I want that money. That's the easiest money you can make, right? So, but it's like, would these people, would they pay a membership fee of $100 a year, right? And which would give them like maybe 3 last minute cancellations, which would give them a free oven cleaning, a free fridge cleaning throughout the year, some preferential treatment with regard to scheduling, discounts on some add-ons, so when you think about it, right? If you have, I'd have to go in and look and see how many recurring customers we have, but let's just keep the math simple. If you got 1,000 recurring customers and you could get $100 a year out of 30% of them, I mean, that's a quick cash grab, right? I mean, grab 30 grand and like, beautiful. So, creating some sort of a membership program where it's beneficial to them, and it's not going to cost you, right?
I'm assuming the customer churn might be less as well. And it's like, I got this annual program. I can't leave now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just a kind of a psychological thing, right? It's like, well, I'm a member. It's like, so, and again, right, just, try to create some kind of exclusive perks for them. And again, a lot of it is fluff, right? Like get priority scheduling. Well, what is that? I don't know, but you got it.
And you might even be able to come up with different tiers, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and you might get somebody that would pay a few $1,000s for some really, nicer perks. And you're creative. I know that you could come up with stuff, but
Yeah.
give them the opportunity. Somebody might surprise you and take it.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. And again, right, it's just, kind of refreshing, right? Just adding another kind of marketing bit, right? To kind of get out there to your buyers or to your clients rather. So, and again, right? Like, so, we'll give you 3 annual cancellations, last minute cancellation. You don't have to worry about that. And right there, right? If people are going to pay you, $50 to $100 per cancellation fee, and this thing will more than pay for itself. Listen, most people are getting about $50 or more to clean an oven, right? So you throw in a free oven cleaning, maybe even a free fridge cleaning throughout the year. It's like, but you can't use them at the same time. It is, and, hey, look, there's $50 there, $50 here. This thing pays for itself.
Mhm.
And again, you can, kind of a quick cash grab.
And you give them like three cancellations a year, which is setting an expectation. It's like 3 is okay, but not 4.
Right.
And
Right. Yeah. The 4th one, we're going to really nail you. We're gonna,
yeah.
Yeah. So, I like that. And, and you've got that document. I mean, that's what we had put together for, what we want to introduce to our customers. And, listen, no problem sharing that.
Any interesting marketing campaigns? I mean, over the years, you've shared with us, oh, gee whiz, frisbees to stickers. I still find these made in Hoboken stickers around my office from, I don't know, half
Yeah.
a dozen years ago or more.
It's funny because, RJ Patel, he's got a bunch in his house that he has no idea where they are. I've decorated, a lot of his house with made in Hoboken stickers. So, one day he'll find them. No, I mean, listen, for me, look, we've, the business, the business is great. It really is. And, in thinking about it, you know, you start talking about culture, right? And, when I think about my staff, and again, we're fortunate in the way we're set up, and that, like I said, everybody comes to the office in the morning, so everybody gets to know each other, and it's interesting watching kind of the newbie come in the door, and there's not kind of a physical hazing period, but there's certainly a hazing period, and like I got one of our senior employees. She's been with us 11 years. And I call her Side Eye Elizabeth, and because like a newbie comes in and she's just like,
Yep.
give her the side eye, and it's almost like they don't talk to the newbies for 2 weeks, right? If they're here 2 weeks, then okay, well maybe they'll hang around, and then before you know it, like they all kind of warm up, and so they've become friends, right? So we got 40 people that gather every morning, and the energy in the office is outrageous, right? And I may have shared with you, so the majority of our staff Latin, and so I bought a domino set. I just dropped it on the table, and now they start playing dominoes in the morning, right? So you got 4 people playing dominoes. And now they start playing for some money. So there's a couple of bucks on the table. And then it's not just the people that are playing, but it's the people that are watching. right? And there's this energy in the morning for $7. You got to, it's unbelievable. So then, of course, I went out and spent a couple $100 and I bought a, like a professional domino table. So now they kind of sit around the table and play. But now they brought in another guy. They play bingo, right? So like sometimes after work they'll set up the bingo and they're playing bingo. It's like a casino. It's like, but again, it's this level of energy. And like I've never worked at a company where like I wanted to hang around after work, right? Like like I punch out. Like I want to get the hell out of here. I want to get as far away from this place as possible. They want to hang around. And and sometimes they'll, hey Paul, we want to do something on Saturday. You mind if we come in? And it's like, no, please, come on. And of course we have keyless entry in the office. And I've made it very clear that this is our office. It's not my office. It's our office. And and I've also told these women, if God forbid you have a situation of domestic violence or whatever, right? Just know you can always come here. You have a safe place. Right? And they know that, and they feel very, very comfortable here. So, it's so you asked earlier, right? Like, what is it about the cleaning business? And it really is like it's a family. It really is. It's incredible. I mean, listen, I laugh with my staff. I cry with my staff. We had a woman. She got a phone call as she's sitting here having coffee in the morning. Her mom passed away, right? And it was like, oh my God. And and we all hugged and we cried and we prayed and it's amazing. So just again, right? It's and I think that is like it's so important, right? And one of the things I've been sharing with people recently, and and I'll share this, and some people may agree, some people may not. And, I don't know. Like I don't use my staff to clean my home, right? Maid in Hoboken doesn't clean for me, and and that's for a number of different reasons. And again, this is just me, right? Look, and I don't claim to live in a lap of luxury, but I know that I live a lot better than my employees live, right?
Sure.
And you know what? I don't need to rub that in anybody's face, right? Personally, I think it's almost human nature. Employees show up at your house to work and clean your home. They can't help but think that you're living this way because of them, right? And that, again, that's me. But I will tell you this. And the reality is we're the highest priced cleaning service in the area, so it's cheaper for me to use somebody else. Right. And the nice thing about using somebody else, and listen, every one of my competitors at one time or another has cleaned my home. Right? Some of them know it's me and they know who I am. Most of them don't. Right. So now I get an opportunity to kind of experience what they have to offer, right? The booking process. Right? Do they show up on time? Are they as good as we are? Are they as good as we claim to be? Right? I mean, I don't think I've poached anybody's employees, but I could.
No.
So it's just another perk of using the competitor.
I'm sure over the years you've hired people who've worked for your competitors.
For sure.
If it might be more than a coincidence if they cleaned your house on Friday and they're working for you on Monday.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, listen, it's it's been a great 13 years for sure. And
what's the plan? We got a couple more minutes here. What's the next 15 or 13 years going to look like?
Wow.
It's a good question. I don't know. I've been planning my funeral for the last year. I don't even know.
Well, you got that out of the way. Now what?
Now what's supposed to happen between now and then?
It's interesting. It's so Laura, my girlfriend has really kind of stepped in and she's really taken control of the cleaning business. her and Vanessa, who is our VA. Vanessa's been our VA for years. She works out of Puerto Rico. And again, because of the way we're set up, where I've got drivers that aren't cleaning, they're just moving teams of cleaners around. We've always had to keep the office incredibly lean in order to remain profitable. But Laura comes to the business with a whole new set of eyes. Again, very analytical. She is she's a numbers cruncher. She's got an MBA. She worked in finance in the city for years. And kind of came in and really just started drilling down on the business. And I think we're more profitable today than we've ever been. For me, I kind of ran it by the seat of my pants, and I glanced at a P&L at the end of the month. Said, okay, good. Look at the bank account. Oh, very good. Okay, boom. Where she'll drill down on every job, and I remember in the beginning where she had said, you've got like 80 accounts, you're losing money. I said, yeah, but we got plenty. We're making money. Who cares? And she says, no, that's not the way you run a business. And again, it's like men are from Mars, women from Venus, and but it's interesting because she comes into this with the energy that I had in the beginning, and I thought I still have it, but it's certainly not as the flame's not burning as bright as it was 13 years ago, right? So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying kind of watching her run with it and kind of bring it to another level. We're thinking about other locations for the cleaning business. We're thinking about doing some other things with it. So I don't think. Listen, retiring. It's just I don't think I would ever retire. I don't think I would ever give up the cleaning business. I think that we would just keep it going. It's a fabulous revenue stream that provides a lot of other opportunity, and taking advantage of those opportunities, I think, is huge.
Yeah.
So and now we're just gonna play around. Hopefully the website will take off, and I'll go tour the country speaking about it.
That is awesome, and excited to see what happens over the next 13 years.
Yeah.
In your cleaning business,
because I don't know. What came first? What was the first business on the wall?
The first, let's see. So actually, you know what? This was one. So this was a restaurant that I had.
I didn't mean for you to take down all your wall decorations.
This was another one, a food truck business. And then, that was real estate development, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was a builder.
Just had to know what the boulder, what started the whole thing.
Yeah, been all over, but it's been great.
Love it.
Paul, thank you. You are
Tom. Thank
an
you.
amazing person and a very fun person as well. And
I appreciate that.
We just blew through an hour, so
Go another 2.
We contractually though we have to go.
Yep, no worries. I appreciate it. Listen, I really appreciate the time, Tom. It's always a pleasure. Ajia, really, a pleasure getting to know you a little more as well.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If anybody needs any information, any guidance, any help, I'm always around.
Yeah, man. Good luck with the software product. You're doing good work there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool. Very
All
cool.
right.
So we're going to call it a wrap. Ajia, thank you so much. We're going to be back next Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Till then, everybody, take care.